I speak to you today with feelings of profound sorrow.
A quiet royal day suddenly turned into something no one expected. King Charles III walked in at the worst moment and saw something that could not be ignored. A mistake had been made, and it changed everything in seconds. One choice, one action, and everything felt different. But what really happened behind those closed doors? The day everything changed. In the United Kingdom, the late afternoon was blanketed in the biting cold of November. While the outside world seemed typical for this time of year, inside the majestic walls of Windsor Castle, a surprising development had occurred. The conclusion of the yearly Royal Art Charity exhibition had not resulted in the usual polite smiles and enthusiastic applause, but rather a sense of disbelief lingered in the air. This year, the main focus shifted away from the funds collected for charity and the aesthetic value of the art pieces. Instead, all eyes were on a surprising decision that left everyone in shock. Lola Parker was officially prohibited from participating in any royal events or responsibilities. This ruling was decreed by the king himself and was implemented right away. Many individuals within royal circles viewed Lola as unique and exceptional. Despite not holding an official royal title, she navigated those environments effortlessly. She was perceived as being sheltered and encouraged, particularly by her grandmother. Her public persona exuded a charming grace that resembled a figure from a storybook. This image was widely trusted and embraced by those around her. The reason why the following events were so heartbreaking was because it was not just an error, but the unexpected downfall of someone perceived as invincible. The palace report swiftly detailed the events that had brought about this situation. Lola was caught red-handed by the king himself as she tampered with a precious artwork. The piece had originally been crafted by Lady Louise Windsor, a gentle and contemplative young lady. Lady Louise was unique in her approach to life, as she never sought recognition or adulation. She dedicated herself to her education and professional endeavors, particularly in the realm of environmental conservation. Through her integrity and composed demeanor, she earned the admiration of those around her. Her passion for painting was evident, not as a mere performance, but as a genuine and heartfelt expression. Her collection was a standout at the exhibition, striking a balance between simplicity and strength while conveying a profound message. Critics silently praised it, and numerous attendees were deeply touched by the artwork. Sudden change occurred in an instant, as one young woman found herself exposed to public humiliation, and another unexpectedly found herself in the spotlight. The individuals in attendance portrayed the event as one that would never be forgotten. As soon as the king revealed his decision, a tense quietness consumed the room. Everyone's gaze shifted to Queen Camilla. Despite consistently maintaining composure in public for years, something shifted within her at that moment. Her complexion paled, and her shock was evident in her expression. It seemed as though multiple occurrences had unraveled simultaneously. The very foundation of trust appeared to have been disturbed. And as the story continued to unfold, one thought stayed in everyone's mind. How could one moment change everything so completely? Behind the closed door, the morning started off with a sense of beauty, tranquility, and anticipation. People from all over the country gathered at Windsor Castle for the yearly Royal Art Charity exhibition. The atmosphere was invigorating, with the air carrying the sweet fragrance of blossoms and fresh paint. Conversations in hushed tones filled the grand hall, setting a serene and sophisticated tone. Lady Louise Windsor was positioned prominently in the center of the art gallery. Despite her understated presence, she captivated the attention of those around her. The artwork she had created effortlessly captured the eye, depicting tranquil green scenery and graceful birds. Each painting conveyed a subtle reminder of the importance of preserving our environment. Observers found themselves lingering in front of her pieces, each one prompting introspection and a pause for contemplation. Lola Parker arrived nearby amidst great anticipation. It was a significant debut for her at a prestigious royal gathering. Every detail of her presence had been meticulously orchestrated, from her attire to her demeanor to her expression, all meticulously arranged for this specific occasion. She was confident that this occasion would be a stepping stone towards the regal lifestyle she had always envisioned. Initially, the situation appeared promising. Queen Camilla made sure to present Lola to influential guests, making her feel acknowledged and accepted for a brief period. However, a shift started to occur gradually. Following each introduction, individuals started to lose interest and gravitate towards Lady Louise and her creations effortlessly. Lola started to become increasingly aware of it. The compliments about Louise weighed heavily on her heart. The admiration was subtle, yet consistent. Individuals discussed Louise's integrity, her understated resilience, and her genuine dedication to her job. It wasn't flashy or theatrical, but rather authentic, and that's what gave it impact. Next to her grandmother, Lola began to feel like she was fading into the background. No one paid attention to her or acknowledged the effort she had made with her appearance. The things she relied on to make an impression seemed meaningless. As she observed Louise more closely, she experienced a sense of unease that continued to intensify. She attempted to participate in discussions, but they carried on without her. She forced laughter at times that felt forced. She altered her demeanor, wishing for someone to take notice. However, nothing shifted. The gap between her and the desired acknowledgement only expanded. Something within her started to change. What had originally been a sense of unease was now growing into a more intense feeling. The significance of the event transformed in her perception, shifting from being about art or charity to becoming a personal challenge where she felt like she was falling behind. Throughout the day, attendees were directed to a secluded location referred to as the Innovation Chamber. This particular area was off limits to the general public, with only creatives and employees granted access. It served as a secure space for storing and readying the various artworks. In a brief moment of inattention, an unforeseen event occurred. A worker, preoccupied with different responsibilities, accidentally left a minor key on a nearby surface. It was somewhat concealed among various items, making it unlikely to be noticed unless someone was paying close attention. Lola observed it. Initially, it held no significance, simply a tiny item reflecting some light. Yet suddenly, it captivated her focus. Glancing discreetly, it seemed like no one was observing her. The area was bustling with activity and hushed chatter. Her approach was deliberate as she inched towards the object. Taking calculated steps, she strategically hid herself from view. In a discreet manner, she retrieved the key without attracting any notice. Even though her face stayed serene, her heart was pounding. She walked towards the locked door holding the key. The door was slightly ajar, giving her a glimpse inside. The room was dark with the exhibition on a break for lunch. The majority of visitors had left, making the area peaceful and motionless. Coincidentally, the king happened to be strolling through a nearby hallway during that exact moment. As he walked, he found himself passing by the door in question. He was the only one who witnessed what happened afterwards. He watched from his vantage point as a significant event unfolded. In the poorly lit room, Lola made a decision that would have irreversible consequences. What started as envy escalated into a choice with permanent repercussions. The outside world remained unchanged, with guests engaging in conversation, cameras flashing, and the event proceeding as planned. However, in that secluded area, a disruption had already occurred. The moment jealousy took over. Initially, the intention was not to cause harm. It started as a silent, resentful interest. Lola's sole desire was to be by herself in the presence of Lady Louise's artwork, examining it carefully. She was seeking something insignificant, an error, an imperfection, anything that could soothe the turmoil brewing within her. However, when she grasped the cold brass key, a different sensation started to emerge within her. This sensation was intense and disconcerting, surpassing mere curiosity. It carried a darker undertone, combined with a peculiar feeling of authority. She tightened her grip on the key, causing its sharp edges to dig into her skin. She glanced at her image in a window close by. Taking a brief pause, she studied her reflection silently. Her appearance appeared altered, almost unrecognizable. A gentle but profound realization slowly dawned on her. If I go unnoticed, I will ensure that I capture their attention. That one idea completely transformed the situation. At that moment, a new thought formed in Louise's mind. It was distinct and chilly. Louise pondered that if the quality that set her apart vanished, perhaps Lola's sense of emptiness would be alleviated. There was a possibility that finally, the recognition Lola desired would be directed towards her. Lunch was served, and the atmosphere in the castle became calm. Visitors strolled leisurely towards the dining areas. Chatter diminished as people got closer to their meals. Journalists also took a pause, making adjustments to their equipment and jotting down some important points. Everything seemed calm for a brief moment. Lola felt as though the silence was inviting and welcoming. Underneath her dress, her heart raced with a mixture of trepidation and anticipation. The tiny key she held had absorbed her body heat, yet it retained a weighty significance. Effortlessly, she made her way through the throng, appearing unruffled as she moved. She walked quietly on the plush carpet, yet each step seemed to echo loudly in her ears. The spacious hallway extended before her, peaceful and devoid of people. At the far end was the entrance to the room for innovative ideas. She came to a halt just before it. She paused momentarily, feeling a sense of uncertainty creeping in. It was almost as if a voice inside her was urging her to reconsider. However, the feeling of resentment resurfaced swiftly, erasing any trace of doubt. She carefully raised the key and inserted it into the keyhole. There came a gentle clicking noise. The entrance swung ajar. The room was bathed in soft light, filtering in through the tall windows, creating a serene and undisturbed atmosphere. Positioned prominently in the center of the room was a large painting. Lady Louise's artwork sat on a stand, exuding a sense of peace and beauty. Despite being incomplete, it emanated a subtle power. The painting depicted a combination of woodlands and sea, created with precision and endurance. Each element appeared animated, as though the setting itself had a heartbeat. Lola hesitated briefly before taking any action. For a brief moment, her envy lessened. The beauty was evident to her, and she could sense the dedication put into it. The realization of this reality caused her more pain than anything else. It brought to mind something unattainable and irreplaceable. The feeling did not diminish softly. It solidified. Her gaze traveled leisurely around the room before finally settling on a tiny bottle of ink resting close by. The bottle appeared somber and motionless, seemingly devoid of purpose. Her hand acted instinctively without conscious thought. She extended her arm towards the jar, her fingers shaking slightly, yet maintaining a strong hold. The atmosphere in the room was quiet, almost as if it was waiting in anticipation. Then it all started. The painting was marred by a solitary ink drop that fell gently, yet left a distinct dark blemish among the soft hues. Another fall came after that. Immediately after that, the bottle was tilted without any hesitation. A flow of dark ink gushed out, expanding on the canvas. It raced swiftly, concealing the intricate elements, engulfing the brightness and hues that had been meticulously crafted over time. The painting transformed in the blink of an eye. The peaceful serenity of the soft greens and calm blues vanished as they were engulfed by the dark, swift current. Although the beauty remained, it was now obscured, concealed beneath a weighty and abrupt presence. Lola remained motionless, fixated on the consequences of her actions. Her rapid and irregular breathing hinted at her growing unease. A peculiar sensation briefly stirred within her, reminiscent of triumph, intense and dazzling. However, it quickly faded away. It disappeared rapidly, making way for a more intense sensation: trepidation. Her stomach churned with unease, and a feeling of dread started to creep in. The once peaceful room now felt unsettling, with the heavy silence almost suffocating her. She was aware that remaining was not an option. She had to go, but what she didn't know was that King Charles was in the same room as her. When silence turned into judgment, the silence did not break with a loud sound. There was no bang, no sudden cry. It ended slowly, in a heavy and quiet way that felt even stronger. Lola turned quickly, her breath catching. There, in the doorway, stood the king. He had appeared without warning, as if the moment had called him there. Perhaps he had taken a different path from the private rooms. hoping to see the artwork one last time before the day continued. But what he found was not beauty. It was something far more serious. His face, once calm and gentle, had changed. The softness was gone, replaced by a firm and steady look. At first, there was shock in his eyes. It was sharp and clear. Then it deepened into something stronger. A quiet but powerful anger filled the room, almost like the air itself had changed. His gaze rested on Lola, steady and unmoving. There was no confusion, no doubt. No, he had seen everything. Lola could not move. Her hands were still marked with dark ink, and behind her, the painting stood damaged and broken. The truth needed no explanation. It was right there, clear for anyone to see. The silence between them felt sharp, almost pressing against her. Then the king spoke. His voice was calm and soft, yet it carried a weight that could not be ignored. It was not loud, but it held power, shaped by years of duty and responsibility. He told her to walk with him. Just a few simple words, nothing more. At that moment, something inside Lola fell apart. It was not only fear she felt. It was the sudden understanding that everything she had trusted was gone. The safety she believed in, the comfort of her place, the quiet protection around her, all of it faded away. She followed him without a word. Later, the bell rang through the castle, marking the end of lunch, but it did not sound warm as it usually did. This time, it felt heavy and serious, like a call that could not be ignored. The message was clear. Everyone was to return to the main hall at once. Guests gathered quickly. The large room filled again, but something felt different. The voices were low, and uncertainty moved through the crowd. A deep silence settled, as if everyone could feel that something important had happened. At the center stood the king. He was still and straight, his face calm but firm. Beside him stood Lola. She no longer looked like the bright and confident young woman from earlier. Her face was pale, her eyes red from tears. The marks on her hands were still there, dark and clear. People watched closely, but no one spoke. Then Lady Louise entered. She walked in quietly, guided gently into the room. When her eyes fell on the painting, her expression changed. The color left her face, and a deep sadness appeared. It was not loud or dramatic, but it was real and strong. She did not look at Lola. The pain was too deep for that. Soon after, Queen Camilla arrived. She looked around once, taking in everything. Her granddaughter stood before the room, shaken and exposed. Her husband stood nearby, his anger clear in a way she had never seen before. A cold feeling passed through her. She searched Lola's face, hoping for some sign that this was all a mistake. But there was nothing except fear and regret. Then the king began to speak. His voice filled the room, steady and clear. He explained what had happened in simple words. He had seen it himself. There was no confusion, no misunderstanding. The truth stood before everyone. Lola tried to speak. Her voice trembled as she searched for words, hoping to explain. But her voice felt weak, and the words did not hold. The marks on her hands told the story clearly. Nothing could hide it. The king did not argue. He did not raise his voice. He only looked at her, and that was enough. Queen Camilla looked again at the painting. The damage was clear now. Slowly, she understood everything. When she turned back to Lola, her expression had changed. The warmth was gone, replaced by something quiet and final. That look broke what little strength Lola had left. Tears came again, and the truth followed. It was jealousy, deep and painful. She had felt herself disappear while others were praised. That feeling had grown until it became something she could not control. The room fell silent once more. Then the king spoke again. He did not speak only about the painting. He spoke about something greater. He said the act had damaged more than art. It had brought bitterness into a place meant for kindness and purpose. For someone close to the royal family, this could not be ignored. Trust had been broken. The decision was clear. Lola would give a public apology to Lady Louise. Slowly, she lifted her head. Through her tears, she tried to look at Louise, but her vision blurred. What she saw was not anger, but quiet strength. That made it even harder. Her apology came out soft and broken, filled with shame. And while everyone thought the art was ruined, Louise saw light. She chose strength over silence. Lady Louise chose not to linger in the crowded hall and endure the hushed conversations and sympathetic glances. Instead, she made a swift exit and retraced her steps back to the creativity suite. Though her movements were composed, there was an undeniable aura of resilience surrounding her. Observers could sense that a transformation had already taken place within her. Upon her arrival, there was a noticeable shift in the atmosphere of the room. The overpowering scent of spilled ink hung in the air, merging with the stillness that remained after events transpired. The hardwood floor bore dark stains, and the easel remained motionless as it displayed the ruined artwork. The artwork she created, the canvas, once filled with beauty, was now marred by a stark black line. This line disrupted the harmonious depiction of nature, upsetting the delicate equilibrium she had painstakingly crafted. It appeared as a sudden and brutal wound, attempting to smother the subtle narrative she had intricately embedded into each element. Louise took a step forward. She refrained from shedding tears and did not exhibit any signs of irritation. Rather, a profound feeling began to emerge within her. It wasn't overt, yet it exuded immense strength. It was a deliberate choice made silently. She refused to surrender. The painting held a significance beyond just being a piece of art for her. It symbolized something significant, something larger than her own self. Allowing it to stay in ruins would result in the loss of that message. She was determined to prevent that from occurring. She gradually pushed up her sleeves. Taking a deep, calming breath, she cleared her mind. And then, she started. She began by being cautious and delicate in her actions. Retrieving soft fabrics and appropriate tools, she proceeded with caution, meticulously removing the dark ink. Every movement was executed with accuracy, displaying a sense of care toward the task at hand. She exhibited patience in her actions, handling the task as though it were something delicate that needed to be preserved. Slowly but surely, the harm started to diminish. Time progressed in silence as the once vacant room gradually became populated once more. Various artists and employees entered in succession without uttering a word. There were no boisterous outbursts or theatrical expressions, only the provision of necessary items such as clean brushes, new materials, and warm water. They were close by, providing assistance while allowing her to concentrate without any distractions. The environment started to transform. What was once a place of destruction now morphed into something gentler, bordering on tranquil. It evolved into a place where nurturing and collaborative work took precedence. Time was passing rapidly. The evening auction was drawing near, and there were just a couple of hours remaining. Louise kept going. She maintained focus as she painted, adding brushstrokes that not only concealed the imperfections, but also transformed them. The blemish that marred the artwork started to blend in and contribute to its narrative. She incorporated darker shadows to add depth. Soft light enveloped the surroundings when she infused it with warmth. By seamlessly merging the harsh lines, she transformed the scene into something with significance. The previously shattered place now radiated a unique form of beauty. It no longer appeared to be reaching a conclusion. It seemed to be a matter of staying alive. A silent figure suddenly emerged by the entrance. The monarch had come back unaccompanied and unannounced. He remained quiet, observing her actions without disturbance. He merely watched, absorbing every meticulous gesture. Talking about the past events was unnecessary. After some time, he moved nearer. With care, he rested his hand on her shoulder. The action was gentle yet filled with significance. As he eventually talked, his voice was quiet and composed. His statements exuded a sense of confidence that did not require frequent display for it to be recognized. Louise paid attention, and a faint grin quietly crept onto her face. The lighting outside started to transition as the day progressed. The intense brightness of the afternoon gradually faded into a gentle warmth, characteristic of the evening. The atmosphere in the room became more serene, enveloped in a peaceful feeling of accomplishment. Finally, Louise set aside her paintbrush. She took a step back and observed the artwork. It no longer looked like it did in the past. The shadowy blemish remained, yet it no longer seemed like a flaw. It had integrated into the overall picture, bringing layers of complexity and significance. The artwork now conveyed a more profound narrative, influenced by both grace and adversity. A night of light after the storm. As the day faded away, night descended upon Windsor Castle at a leisurely pace. The grand hall shone brightly thanks to the gentle illumination of crystal chandeliers, creating a cozy and tranquil ambiance. The intense happenings of earlier seemed to have drifted into the distance, remaining silently in the shadows. The room was no longer under the grip of whispers, shock, and judgment from the past. Now, all eyes were fixed on one focal point: the painting's miraculous return after somehow surviving. Lady Louise took a step ahead. She was dressed in the same plain attire as earlier, but it showed no evidence of the events of the day. Her movements were composed and tranquil. There was a noticeable change in her demeanor. The hesitancy she used to feel had vanished, now replaced by a subtle self-assurance that naturally attracted others. She went over to the large easel next to her artwork. The piece of art appeared complete once more, though it had undergone changes that imbued it with a new depth. The colors appeared more vibrant, and the narrative it conveyed felt more powerful. Upon entering the middle of the hall, Louise experienced an extraordinary event. The whole group rose to their feet. The aftermath was far from gentle or courteous. It was vibrant, rich with emotion, and resonated loudly. The applause grew rapidly and lingered without diminishing. It echoed strongly and persistently throughout the hall. The audience's applause was not just for the artwork, but for a deeper meaning. They were paying tribute to the resilience and bravery exhibited by the painting, as well as the poise displayed in a critical moment that could have led to ruin. Louise remained motionless, her eyes gleaming with emotion. She gave a heartfelt bow, conveying her thanks through a graceful gesture. The applause persisted, surrounding her like a blanket of encouragement. Shortly after, the auctioneer made their way to the front. He didn't overlook what occurred previously. Instead, he addressed it calmly and thoughtfully. He detailed how the painting had been damaged, but not completely destroyed. He talked about how dedication and perseverance had restored it, making it even better than before. The room was then presented with the painting in its entirety. The atmosphere was electrified with a subdued sense of anticipation. The auction commenced. Guests raised their hands as they made their way through the room. Subtle movements were exchanged among the attendees. The figures climbed rapidly, escalating with each passing moment. The artwork, once considered basic, had taken on a deeper significance. The tale behind it breathed fresh energy into it. Every bid was not only a show of interest, but also of admiration. The painting was now seen as a representation of resilience, perseverance, and subtle bravery. There was a sense of vitality in the room due to this mutual comprehension. The cost kept increasing, surpassing all predictions. It rose consistently, shocking even the most attentive observers of the show. Finally, the long-awaited moment arrived. The auctioneer brought down the hammer. The noise echoed loudly throughout the corridor. That evening saw the highest final price ever recorded, not only for the event itself, but also for the significance that the painting had acquired. The money collected will be used to preserve nature and uphold the purpose that originally sparked the creation of the artwork. This ensures that the painting's message endures, extending its reach beyond the castle's confines. The room was still brimming with a feeling of victorious silence. However, away from the vibrant lights, a different tale had come to a close. Lola stood outside the cozy hall, forced to confront the harsh truth of the situation. The dreams she had of joining that world were shattered as the doors remained firmly shut. The kind of notice she used to desire now manifested in a way that was impossible to avoid. Within the castle, Queen Camilla maintained a composed demeanor in front of others. Despite her elegant stance, there was a hidden burden of anguish she bore privately. Witnessing the downfall of someone dear to her had posed a challenge. Nevertheless, she comprehended the reasons behind it. The choice was crucial and could not be avoided. The royal family's values needed to be safeguarded at all costs, without any room for leniency. This reality quietly resonated within her innermost being. The actions of the king had made one thing evident: fairness should always be the top priority. As the night went on, the appreciation for Louise steadily increased. It was genuine and organic, stemming from people's observations and emotions. Louise did not seek out attention, but she had gained it through her genuine behavior. After the visitors started to depart and the lighting dimmed, Louise silently went back to the room for artistic inspiration. The space regained its peaceful ambiance, now only faintly carrying the remnants of the day's productivity.